Joining me now, three of my favorite political analysts in the whole country, all CNN contributors. Syndicated columnist Miguel Perez. Miguel, also a professor of journalism at Lehman College here in New York City. Good to see you. And Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist, New York Daily News, Michael Goodwin. Good to see you. Democratic strategist Robert Zimmerman, and National Committeeman as well for the great state of New York. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Congratulations on the Obama win. Have I mentioned? Well, it looks
I'll take it again after last night, especially.
I have to say, I marvel at the consternation that's being chewed up. The national liberal media, which has been in the tank for Barack Obama for a year, just must be beside itself because they're starting to be this little nitpicking bunch trying to find some conflict, something to, to spew about. It seems to me like he's doing a doggone good job so far. What do you think?
Much of the consternation of folks on the left who want to complain and folks on the right who want to complain, it's really fascinating to note that really the new philosophy of today is really pragmatism and competence. And I think that's what...
those are three interesting words that he used it was yesterday. Pragmatism and common sense. When's the last time we heard a political leader talk about that?
As philosophy in particular. So I think it's encouraging because the choices really speak to stature and also diversity of perspective, and I think that's very healthy and long overdue.
Is it just a setup and he's going to spring this left-wing socialist agenda on after?
Yes. Yeah, I also think that we've probably all gotten a little bit ahead of ourselves in terms of either praise or condemnation. I mean, the guy is still about, what, 60 days from, 45 days, from taking office. So let's wait till he actually does something. Naming a team is
you want
nice.
to wait for an accomplishment?
Yeah, that's kind of the goal.
Well, we've gone 2 years through a presidential campaign in which it was all talk. I don't see why we should break away so suddenly from that view. What do you think?
It is still the honeymoon period.
Absolutely.
And it's all of these appointments. We have to see how they get along with each other and also what they do. So we have to wait until they actually take office and start doing things before we really know what to criticize.
I think also he has to address the myth of the Democratic majority. And by that I mean many of the Democrats
Are you about to set us up for, even though the Democrats control the House and the Senate and the presidency, that they really shouldn't be responsible for public policy?
Not at all. Don't even put me in that position because I've been very critical of many of their public policies of my party. But here's a unique situation that we have evolving because ultimately now Barack Obama is going to have a bipartisan message and receive bipartisan support. The Democratic majority consists of many Democrats who won from red states or very Republican conservative congressional districts. So he can't just count on a Democrat. First of all, you can never count on Democrats voting as a bloc anyway.
Right.
And he's going to have to work with many Republican moderates in the Congress to be able to get his program through.
Wow.
Yeah, see, I'm tending to look at it from the other side, which is the scope of the problems he's facing, whether it's Afghanistan, which I think is going to be a very tricky situation. I know there's a consensus to send in a lot of troops, but Afghanistan is not Iraq, and so that's already Jim Jones talking about, just sending in more troops is not going to be enough. Then, of course, you have the economy, which is a dramatic free fall.
People have got to feel pretty good knowing that Jim Jones, the distinguished former Marine commandant, is going to be there as a national security advisor. I mean, that's pretty good stuff. You've got, as you go through that list of folks he's put together, talk about reassurance. I mean, that's it. Don't you agree?
Very impressive, a lot of experience, but at the same time, I think the question of where is the change is a legitimate question because we keep seeing more and more Clintonites.
Well, there's an old country expression.
Clintonistas.
There's an old country expression. Let me try this on you. You can use the same dogs. It's the direction you sick them, And these are pretty good dogs to be sickened. But he's going to decide what direction.
But in the future, Lou, when a politician comes along and says, I promise you change, some people are going to say, excuse me, can you be a little bit more specific in terms of like faces? Is it going to be the same faces all over again?
We didn't even hear the ideas.
Miguel,
that's true, but the same faces bring the same ideas.
Miguel, the issues we're confronting truly define a whole new direction. We're facing unprecedented challenges, both domestically and certainly internationally, on so many different fronts: economic, environment, healthcare.
I agree, and you should have told us that from the beginning. Bringing the same people in.
It was very clear to all of us, and the challenges are what create a new direction, a new thought.
Yeah. The historians talk about whether it is the challenge that makes the great man or the great man who becomes the leader, irrespective of the context. I think most historians would agree that no one can be considered a great president without being confronted by great challenges and great adversity. To me, there's almost no question that this president has an opportunity for greatness, given the challenges faced. I can't think of anyone who has faced more difficult challenges in the run-up to his inauguration.
Right. Well, and I think, too, Lou, there is this incredible expectation about him, this optimism, nationally as well as internationally. And I think one of the things that Obama's been trying to do lately is lower those expectations a little bit, talking about how long it's going to take with the economy, for example.
And that's probably wise, because I think he's doing it in less a political sense than one of governance.
Sure. No, because
we have been greeted by idiots in this administration. Talking about there is no problem until the day they demanded $700 billion immediately to prevent a depression and a meltdown. One of the things that some consternation dug up today, your reaction to one reporter suggesting that Latinos, Miguel, viewed Richardson as getting the consolation prize, the Commerce Secretary post. Your reaction?
I think it is a consolation prize. I think after receiving 67% of the Hispanic vote, Mr. Obama took a long time to remembering to name a Latino to the cabinet. It really is a last minute, almost like an afterthought. Hey, let me get a Latino in here. Certainly Richardson is qualified, but the Latino community was expecting him as Secretary of State. So it's sort of like here's what I got left for you, leftovers.
All right. Thank you very much, Miguel. Thank you. Michael, thank you very much, Robert. Thank you.